What's up, everybody? Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, it's been a while. In case you forgot my name, there's my name. I'm Spencer Fannon, and yeah, it's been a while. I apologize for missing the last couple weeks. My part-time job worked for Major League Baseball, so I was covering some of the playoff games here in Chicago, both as worked a couple of them, and then I was lucky enough to actually go to a couple of the games as a fan. It was incredible atmosphere. Thing was, they were in the middle of the week, so doing those nights, and I just wasn't able to record episodes. I hope you understand and can forgive me for that. But since it's been a couple weeks, I'll give you a quick rundown of how things go with this show. As I said, Five Downs with Fannon. Got five topics to discuss. People ask, well, why is it five downs when obviously this is a football show? There's only four downs. But as a Missouri alum, and if anyone watching is a Missouri alum, you'll know the story of the fifth down when Colorado came to Columbia in 1990, beat Missouri on a last minute touchdown because they were given an extra down. The referees messed up and forgot to count it down. So Colorado was able to get a fifth down, scored a touchdown, and that helped get them to split a national title that year with Georgia Tech and everything. So that's where the thing comes from. But we'll get right into it. I mean, going back on the previous couple weeks, we made picks. We were two and three in both weeks, so we're 4-6. So we gotta get over 500 with these picks coming up. But yeah, we'll get right into it with the five games that we're going to take a look at. We got three college games, two NFL games, so hopefully that shift gives us a little bit better luck. But we'll get right into it with first down. All right, jumping right in with first down. Big SEC matchup this weekend. We got number five Ole Miss traveling to number nine Georgia. Quick betting breakdown with this. Georgia is a 7.5 point favorite. Over under is set at 54.5 as of time of this recording on ESPN Bet. That's where I'm going to get all the numbers and stuff on, because that's where I also get all the stats and stuff. So I figured I might as well just get those numbers from. And so I mean, it's a big game. I mean, obviously top 10 matchup in the SEC. Ole Miss beat Georgia last year in Oxford. So Georgia's going to be looking for the revenge factor. Obviously, Georgia coming off the loss to Alabama. Ole Miss playing well. Their quarterback Trinidad Chambliss played very well, but this is going to be his first true road start. Certainly in the SEC, he played for Division two school. I believe it was Ferris State. If I was reading Ole Miss's football roster right, yes, Ferris State. So that's that's pretty big step up from Ferris State going to Between the Hedges in Athens, and such for Georgia to play Georgia here. I mean, Lane Kiffin, Kirby Smart, two top coaches in all this. Georgia's offense is still kind of working the kinks out. I mean, the run game is very good, so it's going to be. And Ole Miss has got a very good running back as well. Missouri transfer, yeah, Kewan Lacey, who's been. I think he's scored multiple touchdowns this year, or in multiple games. I think he even had a 3 touchdown, I believe, and stuff. Let's see. Man, I wish they would. I'm going back through this. I really wish that it would have the stats on the school's websites and stuff like that. It would make it a lot easier to find. There we go. There's fine. I'll go to ESPN and stuff. Ole Miss. Yeah, click. But yeah, there we go. Statistics. Yeah, rushing. He's got 8 touchdowns already this year. He's almost 600 yards rushing, averaging 4.5 a carry. So it's like that's just crazy. So both teams have very good rushing attacks. It's I mean this would be an interesting game. I think the home field is going to come into a big factor here. I don't like the number in the sense of it's 7.5 as of right now for Georgia being favored, but I think that Kirby Smart and the defense has gotten better for Georgia. I mean, obviously Ole Miss offensive team and stuff. They're averaging 38 points a game, so it's like they'll put up points and stuff. But I think Georgia wins this game. I think the revenge factor. I trust the quarterback more. They're at home. I'm going to go Georgia minus 7.5. It's a big number. It's over the key number of 7, so there might be a chance. But I just think that Georgia's going to make one or two more plays that are going to push this over that number, and I think they come out with a win. They get that key win that they need after losing to Alabama in a close game. I actually thinking back, that was the last show we did, and it's like I believe I gave out the over in that game, and it was they had 40. I think it was 41 or 38 points at halftime, and the total was 51 or 52, and it ended up being 45. It's like only 3 or 7 points were scored in the second half that entire game. So it was like, oh, come on. So sorry about that if you took that bet, but that's how we go. But in this one, I'm taking Georgia minus 7.5 on account of I trust the quarterback in Gunnar Stockton, trust Kirby Smart at home, and the revenge factor, revenge get back factor. So there you go. That's the first pick of the night. Number 9 Georgia over Ole Miss minus 7.5. Take the dogs. So there you go. But with that done, let's move on to second down. All right, we're staying in the SEC for second down. We're going to Tuscaloosa for it's the third Saturday in October. Tennessee going to Alabama. Number 11 Tennessee. I think they are the highest scoring offense in the country. They're averaging nearly 50 points a game. I believe it's 48, something like that. Then facing Bama, number 6 team in the country, another high scoring offense. They're averaging 35, which is still very, very good. Quick betting breakdown part of this. Bama is favored currently at 7.5, another 7.5 there. Over under is at 59.5. That is a big number and stuff. Obviously, Tennessee, I mean, Bama has historically dominated this rivalry. Believe in the last time Tennessee won in Tuscaloosa was thank you, Google. Was in 2003, according to Google. Yes, 2003. They won 5 overtimes. It took them 5 overtimes. Now, Tennessee has won, obviously, in Knoxville more recently. They let's scroll all the way down here. Yeah, they've won 2 out of the last 3. They've won the last 2 games in Knoxville. Obviously, that throwing one back in 2022, 52-49. And then last year, they won 24-17. This is going to be points. This should be points of plenty because I think Bama's defense is good and has gotten better. They played quite well against Missouri last week. Tennessee has both teams are 5-1. Tennessee, I don't know. Let me double check their. Yeah, I mean they lost to Georgia in overtime and stuff. That was a fantastic game as well. They were dominating at the start, and then they just got ground down and stuff at the end. But it's going to be, they've won their last 3 games. They're Tennessee's 2-1 in conference play, beating Mississippi State in overtime, and then Arkansas. I mean, all 3 of their conference games have been decided by 7 points or less. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Alabama lost to Florida State at the start of the year. They are 3-0 in conference play. So beating Georgia, Vanderbilt, and Missouri the last 3 weeks, all top 15, 16 ranked opponents. So I really think that actually Bama is not the play here. I think Bama wins. I actually would go under the 59.5. I feel like that's just too big of a number. I think that both teams are going to come into this one and wanting to control the clock, control it. Now, both offenses are more pass based. I mean, Ty Simpson and Aguilar for the Volunteers. Joey Aguilar, there we go. I mean, they're 2 of the best quarterbacks in the conference and in the country right now. But I have a sneaking suspicion this is going to be a very not slow paced, but I think it's going to be on the ground. Both teams, because they're going to want to keep it out of the hands of the other team's quarterback. So looking at this, that 59 and a half, that is a really big number. I mean, obviously both teams would essentially need to score 30 points to get there and stuff. So I'm going under 59 and a half in this game. I think Bama wins because I trust their defense a little bit more than Tennessee and stuff at this point. But I do think that the under is the play here. I just don't know if there's going to be. I don't know if there's both teams are going to go up and down the field like they have on previous and lesser opponents and stuff. I think it's going to be a grinded out knockout fight, and I think Bama comes out on top. But I like the underplay more than either side. So, but there you go. That's second down. Let's head on down to third down. All right, third down time, and we're leaving the SEC. We're not going to the SEC for this one. We're going what probably should be a Big Ten matchup, or well, I guess not. It's one team is Big Ten, one team should be in the Big Ten. How about that? Yeah, number 20 USC traveling to South Bend to face number 13 Notre Dame. Notre Dame 4-2 lost to obviously Miami and then Texas A&M, both in very close games. Yeah, USC is 5-1. They lost to Illinois at Illinois a couple weeks ago on a last-second field goal and just beat Michigan at home. So that'll be they're looking to continue that. Obviously, Notre Dame has been pretty dominant since losing to Texas A&M. They've won by the closest they've won by is 21 points, and that was at Boise State 28-7 a couple weeks ago. So Notre Dame's defense has really turned the corner. I mean, they were having a rough go of it at the start. They gave up 27 points to Miami, 41 to Texas A&M, and then 30 to Purdue. But since then, they've only given up 27 points combined their last three games. Now, USC, they can put some points on the board. They're averaging 45 points a game behind I wouldn't say dark horse anymore. Jordan Maeva, he's got, 1,900 yards passing already this year, 13-2 touchdown interception ratio. CJ Carr has played really well as well, the Notre Dame quarterback. But you've got obviously the two-headed monster at running back for Notre Dame and such. We'll go into the betting stuff here. Notre Dame's actually a pretty big favorite. They're minus 9.5 as of the recording of this. Over under is set at 61 and such. Again, kind of like the previous game with Tennessee and Alabama, I lean under on this game. I think that obviously I think Notre Dame's defense is much better. It's probably the best defense that USC will have faced this year, and they're rounding into form. I think Notre Dame's offense will be able to put up points on USC. Let me bring up their USC's points, defensive points per game. It doesn't actually. Yeah. ESPN doesn't show that, which is annoying. So I got to do quick math. 33, 50, 81, 115, 128, and that's it through 6 games. More quick math. I'm not a calculator. I have one on my phone. By 6. They're giving up 21 points a game, which is quite respectable, actually. Obviously, a couple of those games they had really big balls. They had a really good defensive performance against Michigan last week. They only gave up 13 points to Michigan and stuff. So I think, but I don't know if this is obviously going to be the best defense that USC will have faced this year. And I think obviously Notre Dame is going to focus on running the ball. Jordan Love, their rushing tech, Jadarian Price, they've got fantastic. They combined for 900, almost 1,000 yards in their 6 games. Got 15 touchdowns between the two of them, so that's just nuts for 2 running backs only 6 games in. And so I would go under. It's quite similar to the second down game, where I think it's going to be ground and pound. Both teams are going to want to keep it out of the other quarterback. or at the very least Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's going to be able to. They're going to be able to round the ball, control the clock, and stuff. I don't know. USC is going to have to try and throw it, but I just don't. I think I trust USC or Notre Dame's defense on the back end much more than I trust USC's. USC's defense has gotten much better over the last year. They are coming off a really good performance last week against Michigan, but I still trust Notre Dame's defense over USC's defense. So with this, I'm taking the under 61.5. I mean, that's a massive number again. So I feel pretty confident with that. But time to leave the realm of college football. We're going to the NFL for fourth and fifth down. So let's head on up to fourth down. All right, fourth down, time to go to the NFL. Not kind of slim pickings with the NFL this week. But this is an underrated matchup, I believe. You got Colts, who are 5-1, probably the surprise of the NFL right now with Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, and such. And you got going to LA to face the Chargers, who are 4-2 and currently atop the AFC West standings with Denver Broncos. Obviously, Colts are in first place, actually the number one seed right now in the AFC, which is crazy. Quick betting thing: Chargers are favored by 1.5 points. Over under is set at 48.5. Question. I mean, really, the question is, can the Colts continue this surprise run? Obviously, Chargers got off to a really good start this season, winning their first three games, but they've lost two out of their last three. They've been struck by the injury bug a lot. Colts, obviously, 5-1. Their only loss on a last-minute touchdown to the Rams a couple weeks ago. But I would argue their schedule hasn't been the best. I mean, best team obviously they lost to the Rams in LA, so they're going back to a house of horrors there because Rams and Chargers play in the same stadium. They beat the Broncos, who's probably their best win, obviously, but that was on a missed field goal at the end of the game, if I'm remembering it right. So it's really kind of it's smoke and mirrors. I wouldn't say that completely. I still think that the Colts are a very good team, and they are certainly the surprise of the year this year. But I just don't know if they faced the same level of competition. Obviously, the Chargers have. Chargers obviously won their first three games, and they were all their division games. Then they lost to the Giants, Commanders, and stuff, but they beat the Dolphins. Now they needed a last second field goal there in Miami, so it's going to be both teams are kind of struggled at least to be really dominant, I guess you would say, or controlling. I mean, Justin Herbert is obviously playing fantastic. Daniel Jones is easily comeback player of the year as of right now. Their Colts head coach Steichen is the front runner for coach of the year. So it's going to be a very interesting game. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to lean toward the home team. It's close. It's a 1.5 point spread. I think the home team gets the edge here. I think the Chargers win, covering the 1.5. It's okay. I just think that Justin Herbert is going to make enough plays in this game to get the win. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think this is probably going to be the toughest. This is the third hardest game the Colts have played. They beat the Broncos. I think that the Rams are the best team they've played. Then it's the Broncos, and now the Chargers will be that third team. And I just think that I think it's the third. It's going to be. I think this is going to be a game that they lose. Road game. Chargers are going to be coming in wanting to continue the momentum they got last week by beating the Dolphins, keeping pace with the Denver Broncos and stuff, who they're tied with at the top of the AFC West, as well as keeping the Chiefs, who are creeping back up in their rear, like far enough in their rearview mirror. So I think this is a big game for the Chargers, and I think that Justin Herbert makes enough plays. Jim Harbaugh coaches his butt off, gets the defense going, and I don't think the shine comes off the Colts yet. I don't even know if it will, but I think this is a game where maybe the Colts don't have that crazy not good luck, but play great, and I think that the Chargers end up winning this game pretty close, probably like a field goal, maybe within a touchdown. I would say definitely within a touchdown, but I'm taking the Chargers minus 1.5. So that's fourth down. Time to head to fifth down. All right, fifth down, and we're heading to Monday night. This is probably the best matchup of the weekend in the NFL. You got the Tampa Bay Bucks facing the Detroit Lions. Tampa Bay, obviously, with Baker Mayfield just going nuts. So this game's at 6 o'clock Monday night. So it's the early, yeah. There's two Monday night games this weekend. So it's you got two games to watch Monday night, which will be a lot of fun and stuff. Quick betting thing: Detroit is actually the 5.5 point favorite, which I'm actually a little surprised at. I'm surprised that it's that big. I mean, obviously Detroit is their offense has been outstanding for pretty much the entire year. Well, aside from the first game of the year, I should say. They've scored at least. Well, no, they lost. They only scored 17 points at the Chiefs, but that's also the Chiefs. They scored obviously 52 against the Bears, 38 against the Ravens, 34, and then 37. So they've, aside from last week, they had scored over 34 points a game the last 4 of the last 5 weeks. Obviously, Tampa Bay, they're 5-1, probably the top team in the NFC right now, at least record wise. Only lost to the Eagles at home and stuff, but coming off a very solid win against the 49ers last weekend. It's going to be over under in this game is 52.5. I mean, Baker Mayfield is probably the front runner for MVP right now, especially if you consider. I mean, I think 4 of their 5 wins are like winning within the last minute of the game. It's just been nuts. They do have a bunch of injuries on the offensive side, which makes me a little leery. But news of as of today, Thursday, October 16th, Mike Evans returned to practice. Not sure if he's going to play, but if he does, that's a huge get for them and stuff. I don't know if I'm staying away from the spread because it's Baker Mayfield, and he always just seems to find a way to get his team close at the end. So I think that 5.5 is just a little too big for me. I'm going actually over 52.5. I think points will be scored in this game. Lions are going to be at home. Crowd is going to be going nuts. I think Baker will be able to make enough plays to score, and I think the Lions are going to be able to make enough plays to score to cover that number. If I had to pick a side, I'd lean Lions, but I just don't. I trust Baker enough that he's going to make. If you give him a chance, it might be a 10-point game at the end, going in like halfway through the fourth quarter. He drives down the field and gets him a touchdown to put it within the 5.5. So I'm staying away from that. But I'm going to take. I think there will be points aplenty scored in this game, and I think it's going to go over the 52.5. I should say that it is as of right now. I will obviously double check that number. Yes. Yeah, it's come down a little bit. It opened at 53.5, but I think 52.5. Still think it goes over that total. So because I think these are two really good offenses, two okay defenses. Because Detroit's defense is injuries and suspensions and stuff like that. Tampa Bay's defense is solid but not great, and I think these are two of the better offenses certainly in the NFC, if not the National Football League. So I think we're going to see a lot of points scored. And it's going to be a really fun game to watch. I can't wait to watch it on Monday night. But there you go. That's Fifth Down. So head on into our outro and such. But thank you again for following along. Thank you for welcoming me back to your viewing screens on this episode. So again, sorry, it's been a couple weeks. Break down the 5 games again quickly. First game was Ole Miss traveling to Georgia. I had Georgia covering the 7.5 points. Second down is another SEC game, Tennessee traveling to Alabama. I have under the 59.5 in that game. Third down is we're leaving the SEC, but we're staying in college football. We got USC traveling to South Bend to face Notre Dame. I've got the under in 61.5 in that game. Then we go to the NFL for fourth down. I got the Chargers covering the -1.5 in that game against the Colts. And then the final one you just saw, Bucks and Lions in Detroit. I think you're going to go over the 52.5. So we went 2-3 in our previous couple weeks of bets, or picks, I should say. So hopefully we right the ship, get over 500 in this week. But thanks so much for sticking around and watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what games you'd like me to take a look at for next week. I will be back next week, barring anything crazy and stuff, because obviously baseball season is over here in Chicago, unfortunately, and all that. But thanks again for watching, and until next time, see you later.